a lot of housework right now with the 3 kids, but right now it's a lot of just preparation for whenever we get back to on the field, and so that's just preparing for game plans, opponents, different strategies for when those games actually do start.
What have you been able to do during this mini camp?
It's been good. It's been good to see a lot of our younger players. A lot was accomplished in their downtime in 2020, and I think that they learned a lot of things about maybe how to manage their time and to use an off season productively, mainly because they were forced to. And so now, getting actually back inside and being able to, be on site here, it's been exciting to see another off season of work. And so, there's plenty of prospects to be excited about.
Who's caught your eye so far?
Obviously, Anthony Volpe. I think you guys are going to talk with Anthony later, and Trey Sweeney, I think, is also on the docket. Both of them have, they look great. Elijah Dunham's coming off of a strong Arizona fall league, and same thing. Austin Wells, Josh Breaux, these guys had outstanding seasons last year, and they haven't slowed up yet.
What do you see in Volpe's swing? What do you like about it?
Just the fact that it's so consistent, and it plays against such a large array of pitchers. Whether it's a righty or lefty, from over the top or from the side. He can handle fastballs. He can handle off-speed pitches, and just the consistency that he plays with. It isn't just a high floor. It's there's a high ceiling that goes with that, and he plays at such a high level all the time.
What would his next step be? What would be keeping him from making the rise to the majors at this point?
I fully expect to see him there. Now, whether it's this year or what time, what the timetable is, obviously that goes into. There's a lot of people that have a say into that. It's a little bit outside of my jurisdiction, but I have all the confidence in the world that he'll be there. And so we'll just have to see what he does. If he starts in AA, we'll see how he does there, and if he can, pick up where he left off.
For someone who hasn't seen him play, is there a major league comp that you would give for Volpe?
No, I don't. I wouldn't want to put that on those guys. So many of these guys are one of a kind, anyways. That's why they get to play at that level, and there aren't people that are able to duplicate that. But the consistency of him as a player and a person, and at such a high level, it's amazing for the organization.
What stands out about his approach in the box too?
It's mature, it's elevated, right? His ability to take a game plan and then not get distracted from it. It's ahead of his age.
Jason Dominguez played in high level for his age last year, held his own, which is it's a pretty good league for his age. What was your biggest takeaway from him? And obviously there's been a lot of hype because of his contract, switch hit, size, but when you look at him 1 year into his career now, what stands out?
I've said this before. I think all of you all can see, and everyone else can see, the physical tools, and the size, the speed, the athleticism, the explosiveness. What we have, what we're able to do is we can see him beyond that, and that's what stands out. It's him as a person, his work ethic, his leadership skills. Those things really do stand out, and so it's not just an athlete. There's the whole package.
I think I saw him play one game, and he was holding a team prayer on the field with Latino guys older than him, and it seems something rare to see that for a game, the youngest guy on the team, and players running over to him. Is that something that you see about him that, like you said, that leadership that you just don't see from kids his age?
He for sure has leadership skills. I mean, it's something that, you know, all of us are trying to help cultivate as well, and just making sure that, you know, that those traits aren't wasted, and giving him the opportunities to lead small groups, whether it's in prayer or it's in competitions on the field or throughout spring training or in a season, putting him in those situations where he gets to actually practice that.
You guys, I gotta run. You can stay.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, 40 minutes. I gotta change it to me.
Okay.
How do you manage expectations with him? I mean, he's already being compared to Mansell. He's 19, 20 years old.
And that's why I don't want to put the player comps on Volpe. These guys deal with an unbelievable amount of pressure, especially, you know, it's a different time to be playing in, and the attention that they can get, whether it's through this or it's through social media. Like, people know who these players are, you know, much sooner. And so, what's good about Jason is that he is mature, at least beyond his age, and that helps us with the expectations, but also just, you know, being real with him and discussing some of the hardships that he might face because of these things. You know, not treating him like, you know, he is one of a kind, because he is. Everyone is. Everyone's their own individual, and so it's giving them what they need, and sometimes he needs a little bit extra to help with those expectations. I think he's doing an amazing job with that. I just think about myself. If I put myself in that situation, God, I wouldn't have been able to handle some of the things that he's already had to experience, and what it might be like to just, you know, the futures gamer go through an airport and things like, and be noticed at that young of an age. I'm sure some of that's trying, but he's really done an exceptional job.
Are you guys still looking for an additional getting coach from the Philly staff?
That process is still ongoing. I think, you know, Booney and Cash have commented on that before, where it's trying to find the right fit for the entire group, beyond just me as a hitting coach or Casey Dykes, and what, you know, and maybe that means it's just hitting specific. It might also mean that it's what's been, you know, what's out there about Xavi with the, you know, he could fill a variety of roles. It's a new position that allows us to just, you know, if we can find an edge one way or another, it allows us to put somebody in that position.
At this point, have you worked out plans for like a 3-week spring training program, a 4-week spring training program? Have you don't advance that far yet? Because obviously not going to be a normal spring training.
So I think we're preparing for all scenarios, and, you know, you asked, that was the first question. Is just, that's the least we can do right now, is just, you know, even over prepared. But I do think that it would be unrealistic to think that, you know, if it gets super short like that, we're going to be able to cover everything, and you wouldn't want the players to have that kind of experience anyways, especially with some new coaches, and you want to have some of the built-in downtime and to have those conversations, and, you know, just be able to build those relationships. But yeah, I mean, we're preparing for all scenarios, and right now we have the time to do that.
What is your stance on small ball? You hear people, when they criticize the Yankees, they'll say it's a homer, walk, or strikeout, and that's a trend all through baseball, and there's not a whole lot of guys that are singles hitters, hit the ball the other way, maybe for a hit. What's your thought on that, and can the Yankees, I know I'm not naming names, but can the Yankees be more manufacturing run team as opposed to just sitting back and waiting for the 3-run homer like it seems like a lot of baseball does?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to score runs so we can win games. You know, if we're going to be successful, like, it's the level of success means to win a World Series. And so when you know, I've been asked about my hitting philosophy and hit strikes hard. Well, like, that's in place just simply because if you can hit strikes hard, you end up scoring more runs, and when you score more runs, you end up winning more games, and that's what we're interested in, is winning games. And so if manufacturing runs or small ball or hitting a 3-run home run, like however we get to those 3 runs, we're going to be excited.
Do you think guys can change when they're veteran players, or typically do you have to change the personnel to bring in guys that fit that mold?
I think these guys are ever changing, ever evolving. So I wouldn't put any limitations on these guys, but again, I think we're just trying to maximize the situation where we can score as many runs as possible to win as many games as possible, especially late in the season, because that's when it really counts. So whether it's preparing for the elite pitching is really what we're talking about, is making sure that we can still score runs against the best of the best. And I can promise you that we'll do whatever it takes for that.
Do you think that needs to change a little bit from the way it was the past few seasons, or do you think the mix in your mind is what was happening last few years was good in your mind?
I think that whether it was good or bad, we're always trying to get better. So that's the goal. And we didn't win a World Series last year, and the goal is to win it this year. So it means that some things will have to be a little bit better. Many things will just simply be the exact same because they were already at a super high level.
I know it's more important for pitchers, but what would be the least amount of spring training games you think hitters would need to get ready? How many at bats?
I think the popular answer is a month, right? I think that's, but every hitter is going to be different. I'm sure that there's pitchers getting ready, and that means throwing on a mound live, doing all that type of stuff, and their experience is generally better if they have hitters with them too. And knowing how creative players were able to get in the 2020 shutdown, I'm sure that they're being creative again this time to make sure that they're able to get the amount of at-bats that they need.
So you're expecting them to come in somewhat ready?
Well, I would expect that anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate you.